Okay, this will be the last one for the night. Don't worry if I haven't gotten to your video requests. I have gotten to. There's still some left. I will get to them later. I just had I published my new book, and then I'm reading through Bernard Chapin's book and all this other stuff. Kind of too much. All right, let's read it first. I'll consult my notes. Hey guy, what was it? I gave him a quote. I gave this kid a quote. This kid's guy. You could tell he's from New York. I said, hey, thanks for the email. Video request will cost you $33. Inform me when you make the payment. He emails me back. All right, you got your damn money. Now I want some good advice. I should give him a discount, but I'm an asshole. I am a high school student in New York City in my senior year. Everyone here, including teachers, are crazy psycho liberals who hate straight white men. Me. I need a way to motivate myself to go to school. If I ever open my mouth about the typical brainwashing that goes on in every class, then my grade drops from an A- to a C+. This happened all throughout high school until I went to military school, Trump's actually, and then I came back to public school for my last year. Well, why'd you leave military school? Why don't you go back? No. The point, it's really difficult to motivate myself to go to school for one more year. Could you make a video about conservatives living with liberals, specifically targeting my situation? All right, well, I had to take some notes. And the one thing you got to realize is it ain't going to end. Just because you're going to get through high school, it's going to get worse in college, especially with the bullshit I see happening on the news and fake rape accusations and the social justice wars. I mean, I thought it was bad in the 90s, but... And that was the thing. High school was actually better for me than college. Like they said, like they always say, well, college is where the mature people go. That's where the really smart people. No, it's where the exact same stupid people that were in high school went, except now they don't have their parents watching over them, and they're drunk, and they're high, and they're dumber than shit. So, and the other thing is, you're not going to escape this for at least another decade, probably a decade and a half, because it wasn't until I was fucking 35 did my friends, I'm talking guy friends, forget the female friends, they're still all, yeah, he like Barack Obama, Bill Clinton. So, anyway, it wasn't until I was 35 did my male friends finally come around and admit that I was right the entire freaking time. So it's because of your generation and your youth. You are not, it's not like, oh, it's just your school in New York City. It's your generation, and you will not escape it until you, like, either hang out with really old guys that know it, or you hang out with really old guys that know it. So just get used to that. And then the other thing, girls, I mean, good Lord, there's another thing that's just going to be a pain in the ass. And I'm not obviously, I'm not saying this to make you feel better. I'm just warning you. It doesn't end. 1 year, it doesn't end. So you better get used to it, because no matter where you go, especially after you chase the cuties, they're all going to claim they're independent-minded, yet ironically, they're all going to think like sheeple and think the exact same thing and be the opposite of independent-minded, and they're all going to be leftists. Well, not all. Every once in a while, you'll find a conservative or libertarian chick, but it just doesn't happen until you get older. So one thing is adapt a mentality. Just accept this reality. And you have no choice to accept reality, because that's reality. All right, the second thing. For now, when you go to school, don't let it bother you. Play the fucking game. Whatever, teacher, fine. Yeah, Obama's the greatest thing ever. Oh, yeah, FDR all the way. Woodrow Wilson, greatest man to ever live. Oh, that Roosevelt guy was an asshole. And Ronald Reagan, he raped kittens, and he was a mean, mean man. And old George Bush Jr., he was Hitler reincarnate. Fine, whatever. Go in there like every other kid across the United States has to do, into some mind-numbing prison that they call school, and just suck it up and deal with it. That's the problem. Then also prepare, you're going to have to do the exact same thing in college, except you get to pay for that shit. So that parlays into a little bit of my other advice, what you got to do after high school. Because high school, you're just going to have to suck it up. I mean, if you can get back into military school, do it. But otherwise, I mean, what? You're coming up on, you're a third through it? Almost half. Nah, you're right. We're still in fall. Yeah, if you can get into that military school, I'd go back. But otherwise, just keep your head down. Shut up. This one kid, you don't want to be this kid, okay? This is the kid you don't want to be. A substitute taught once at Breck is this private school where all the rich liberals send their kids. And there was this kid, and he was Jewish. And the way I could tell he was Jewish, because he wouldn't shut up about it. And they had to give speeches. He gave a speech about how great Israel was. Well, it was obvious this kid had nothing else going on in life, and so he attached himself to his Judaism. And you don't want to be that guy where, like, you got nothing else going on in your life, so you attach yourself to your conservatism or your unique politics, and you go running up and charging the teacher with it, and you delay the momentum of class. Look, the teacher doesn't want to be there, the kids don't want to be there, you don't want to be there. Just play the fucking game. Let them get that shit done as quickly as possible, over with, and with as least bumps in the road as possible. Just don't rock the boat. Just shut the fuck up. You know better. You're not going to convince them. What? You're going to convince these dumb kids that you're right and the teacher is wrong? You're going to convince the teacher that he or she is wrong? They are so far brainwashed. Watch a video no, I'm sorry, it's not a video. Look up the article, Why It's Impossible to Argue with a Leftist, because they have no intention of being honest or finding out the truth or solving a problem. They just want to bitch and whine and moan and feel good about themselves. So you're not what you want to achieve by pointing out truth, reality, empiricism, mathematics, data, research, statistics. They're going to have none of it. You're not going to convince them. So just do that. So once you get out, then I suggest you look at something that is more conservative in nature in terms of your next step after high school. Go to a conservative college like Hillsdale. Look at Western Governors University, which is online. Look at ASU, which is online. These are both accredited, but verified because they may have lost their accreditation. Think about going to the South Dakota School of Mines. Go to an engineering school, something where it's a bunch of guys who are smart and mathematically inclined and care about reality. And then you're going to find a lot more conservative, libertarian, Republican type peers. Another thing, the military. Military would be great. You're going to find a lot of conservatives there, not a lot of Democrats in the military. Oh, the president, chief, commander-in-chief might be a Democrat, but most of them are conservative or libertarian. While you're there, consider joining the JROC, Junior Reserve Officer Corps. You'll find some Republicans, you'll find some conservative-leaning young men there if you want to have a career in the military. And then the other thing is tech school. Maybe going to tech school again. People are more reality-based. Your philosophies and opinions about intersectionality between racism and sexism doesn't really play well when you're trying to weld and you need to know the melting temperature of copper wire. So there is that. Then some other things are going to help you kind of get through your 20s to the point where hopefully your generation grows the fuck up. You're obviously going to want to date girls, and they're obviously going to be heavily propagandized to be leftists. What worked for me, especially because I was, the evil conservative, blah, 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 is I would use my betting tactic. And ever so briefly is you bet them on something that is provable. You can look it up on the internet in a matter of seconds. And then they say, I bet you're wrong. And they say, what do you bet? They say, well, what if I win? You say, I'll clean your house for a week. You don't have to worry. You're right. You know the data. You got to make sure you know where the data is. So excuse yourself to the bathroom, look it up on your cell phone, make sure you know you're right. And you say, and so they say, what if I lose? You say, you got to give me a blowjob. Or you got to come over. You have to have sex with me for a week. And you know what it does? It's a brilliant strategy on my part because it's flirtatious, it's charming, it's playful, and it completely diffuses the political angst and argument where they're going to draw their knives out and they're about to stab you. It also wins the argument for you, and you don't have to defend yourself anymore. So that's a very good strategy that especially worked well with the girls. You can use it on guys too, but you bet money, and that usually just shuts them up, and and then you say, well, what if you're not willing to bet $5? What's your opinion worth? Why should anyone listen to you? And that's how you win. And so that's helped me out. Betting tactic. Oh, get the fuck out of New York the second you can. Get the fuck out of New York City. Go somewhere. Get out of New York State. Go some other place. Go to Texas. Go find. Get the hell out of there. There is no reason for any young person who has any ambition or intelligence about them to be in New York City. Absolutely none. So, and that right there will probably put you in better spirits. So, anyway, sorry for your situation. I know it doesn't solve the problem, but there is no solution to your problem. It's just enduring and sucking it up and becoming a stronger man for it. Anyway, best of luck. Toodles.